A breaking traffic warning. A tanker truck has overturned and spilled chemicals in the south traffic circle of Alexandria. APD is on scene and rerouting all traffic. Please do avoid that area tonight until it can be cleared. Now here's Ross with your first forecast.
First forecast brought to you by Store It at Home, rent-to-own portable buildings. Overnight tonight, another pretty nice evening underway, and of course today was absolutely beautiful out there. We did have a little more in the way of cloud cover and very warm. We should be around 74. We got all the way up to 80 degrees. We have that southwest wind really gusting out there, setting the stage as we go through the next couple of days for the potential for severe weather as we go into Sunday. Of course, overnight tonight, only getting down to 65 thanks to our increased dew points and added moisture in the air. I'll be breaking down the severe weather potential as we go through the weekend. All coming up just a few minutes. ABC 31 News starts now.
Welcome to ABC 31 News tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Rapid Schools will now not only be taking care of minds, but also bodies. Our big story tonight, details on a brand new health center. Trinity Community Health Centers of Louisiana and the Rapides Parish School Board have partnered together to open a new Rapides school-based health center at Alexandria Middle Magnet School. An open house is held today for the opening of the health center and an official ribbon cutting by the Cenla Chamber of Commerce.
Well, the students that we have consent forms on from their parents and guardians, we do preventative health. We'll have immunizations, flu shots, whatever a student would need, and we also do sick visits. So the idea of the school-based health centers are to keep parents at work and children in school.
These school-based health centers are continuing to expand throughout a number of parishes and schools in Louisiana. All students enrolled in the Rapides Parish School System can receive services from the health center with signed consent. A Faraday man died early yesterday morning after an 18-wheeler reportedly struck his pickup and flatbed trailer parked on the shoulder of Highway 65 just south of Clayton in Concordia Parish. State police say 57-year-old Richard McLean died in that accident. A woman is dead and a man critically injured after an officer-involved shooting in Wynn Parish yesterday afternoon. State troopers are doing the investigation and say it appears Wynn deputies were serving a civil arrest warrant on Lemoyne Road when they encountered the couple outside the home, both armed with guns. Shots were exchanged and 71-year-old Betty Lemoyne died at the scene, while 50-year-old Kendall Lemoyne was critically injured and transported to Alexandria. No deputies were hurt, and that investigation is ongoing. A man from Ball was arrested for criminal trespass and theft after Rapides deputies apparently offered to give him a ride home, and instead he reportedly stole a bicycle from unsuspecting homeowners. 29-year-old Jonathan Curtis Bentley has been released from another parish jail and needed a ride home. Deputies say they often do this when a former inmate is stranded, but they say Bentley refused to wait for the deputy and stole the bike instead, which was returned to its rightful owners. The Grand Parish Sheriff's Office hosted their annual camp for all 9th grade students in the parish at Camp Grant Walker today. The camp allows students to do some interactive learning outside of the classroom for the day about gun safety, bullying, driving safety, and more. It also gives students and law enforcement a chance to interact in a positive way.
We thought that it was an important age group to focus on. They're 15 years old. Most of them are going to be driving soon, and they're beginning to make decisions that will affect not only them, but everybody else around them. They're coming into adulthood. We've got ATV safety. Grand Parish is a very rural parish, and hunting and outdoor activities are popular. We're teaching them the correct way to learn, to operate and to drive an ATV. We've got a gun safety program. We've got deputies here that are simulating traffic stops. At some point, everybody's going to be pulled over for speeding or running a stop sign or something. And we have another section that's focusing on cyberbullying and computer-related issues, which is a huge deal for us today.
This is the 4th year for the Sheriff's Office to host this event for students. The students also heard from a guest speaker at the end of the day who shared his own personal stories about life choices. College students in Louisiana are fighting for their education and for TOPS funding. WBRZ's Sydney Kern has that story from the Capitol.
In front of the state capitol, hundreds of college students are standing for one thing.
No educational university has to be worried about being threatened for their funding.
Year after year,
it's almost kind of become that common scare.
Lawmakers considering legislation that could cut funding to TOPS or make the scholarships more strict because of a budget shortfall.
I wouldn't even be in college if it wasn't for TOPS. So I think it's if we didn't have TOPS or if it's reduced, it's going to affect a lot of students, and a lot of students won't be able to continue their education.
A record number, more than 19,000 graduates were eligible for a TOPS scholarship in 2017, nearly 1,000 more than the year before.
I think that says it's a success and that we're having more students stay in the state too. I mean, if we want people to stay in the state and bring things to the state, we need to help support the students stay here.
With the huge crowd, some lawmakers came out to respond to the students.
I'm going to ask you to make a commitment to us. We're going to fight like hell and get your funding for your school. We're going to fight like hell and get your funding for your scholarship. But I want you to fight like hell when you graduate to make Louisiana the best state that it can be.
A statement students are excited to hear, hoping it stays true.
The popular Neil Simon comedy Barefoot in the Park is opening tonight at the Hearn in downtown Alexandria. City Park players are staging the comedy about newlyweds in a 6th floor walk-up. Performances are nightly at 7:30 through Saturday with a 2:30 Sunday matinee. That schedule is repeated next week starting Thursday nights. You can call the theater for reservations. This is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Many of you may know that Alexandria played a crucial role in the planning of World War II when the Louisiana maneuvers were conducted here to prepare for that land war in Europe.
Every year on International Holocaust Memorial Day, we hold a service. We meet at the memorial at 6:30 for a beautiful little service there. That service is rather brief. It involves usually a song and a prayer and brief remarks. And then we process to Emmanuel Baptist Church for a more formal service. And this year, our guest speaker at Emmanuel is going to be Mayor Jacques Roy. It's just a beautiful way to remember the victims of the Holocaust and forever keep them in our memory.
Alexandria Country Day School held an Arbor Day tree dedication this afternoon in honor of Nancy Riles, ACDS head of school. Riles announced her pending retirement last March and plans to retire at the end of the current school year. The Save LA Club at ACDS planted the tree and the dedication event to celebrate Arbor Day and Riles' time spent at ACDS as head of the school. While Easter has passed, the smells of Easter lilies might just still fill your home. When these plants start fading, you don't have to throw them away. On this edition of Get It Growing, LSU Ag Center horticulturist Dan Gill explains how Easter lilies can be planted in the landscape and grow very well with the proper care.
This lovely plant that you see here is a lily. It's native to Japan, and the Latin name is Lilium longiflorum. You know this plant a lot better is the Easter lily, and I'm sure you saw lots of these last weekend as we celebrated the Easter holidays. Now you can keep these plants looking attractive in your home. Don't forget they're very toxic to cats. If you do have cats in your household, put these plants someplace where they cannot get at them. Otherwise, make sure you keep the soil evenly moist. Feel it with your finger, and if it starts to feel dry, water it. As the flowers begin to fade, you may wonder what to do with the plant then. Well, plant it outside in your garden. These Easter lilies make outstanding plants in our landscapes. They're hardy and resilient, and they'll come back and bloom for you year after year after year, planted in the right location. Now, that location is a spot in a nice, well-prepared bed that gets morning sun and a little shade in the afternoon. When you plant these, trim off the old faded flowers, but don't take off any foliage, and plant them so that the level of the root ball is level with the soil of the bed. They'll start to go dormant in midsummer, get all yellow and sickly looking. Don't panic, that's natural. Cut them back to the ground, remember where they are, and around about October they'll come growing up again. Easter lilies grow over the winter and bloom every year around about April, and every year the clump will get larger and produce more flowers for you. So don't forget, add your Easter lilies to your landscape after the holidays are over. They're wonderful for flowers for years to come. For Get It Growing, I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.
And for more information on other lawn and garden topics, you can visit the website on your screen and click on the Lawn and Garden button.
Medical examiner.
Detective. Homicide.
I can't write you a prescription.
These are my date clips.
Ding.
Then I had to chase this guy all the way down to Fenway.
We should do this again sometime.
Rizzoli and Isles, a perfect match.
Weekends at 11 on KLAX TV.
To catch a killer, you gather the evidence.
There's blood on the screen.
And build a picture-perfect case.
One of you stabbed her 12 times.
Hold on, there, FBI.
Bones Weekends.
Weekends on KLAX TV.
Looking at our surface map, and things are a little deceiving here. We got plenty of dry, warm air across the southeast. A lot of onshore flow off thanks to a high pressure system, allowing for plenty of moisture. Our dew points could likely get up into the 70s tomorrow. That's firmly in that nasty, steamy category that we often refer to as we go through the summer. Thunderstorms will likely be erupting just off to our north and west as we go throughout the afternoon hours, and then slowly moving their way into our area, just like what we saw last Friday, with the timing of the storms arriving as we go into the overnight hours. So late evening, overnight hours will be the timeline for those storms arriving here, but off to our north and west, likely setting up for not only severe weather, but heavy rain potential is there as well. Now, what to expect tomorrow? A couple of thunderstorms around late in the day. These are going to be discrete cells, so this is why I've been talking about it for a couple of days, that we could be looking at our first significant tornado outbreak across the area, because we're not going to have a line of thunderstorms, not initially anyways. We're going to have discrete cells developing, and those are the ones we'll be concerned about being tornadic. Likely that those stay off to our north and west, but as you know, the weather can change, and so can location, so we'll keep a very close eye on that as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Cloud cover will be around as well, and then thunderstorms around for the early morning hours for the day on Saturday. The severe threat by that point in time will be over, but we'll be talking about some very heavy rain. The setup that we got going on, a very powerful storm system, be centered over Iowa as we go into Saturday. It's kind of funny that the Dakotas, they have blizzard warnings out, and for western Iowa, blizzard warnings out. Likely going to see a tornado watch at some point in time there tomorrow. Then 12 hours later, probably looking at a foot of snow. So thankfully, we're not there. We're just worried about the southern mode of this storm, which is all warm air. But dry, cold air will be filtering in. That will add the energy to the severe weather setup. And what we have here is an enhanced risk area from Shreveport all the way Monroe, all the way through Little Rock, extending up into Missouri. You notice we're in that slight risk area because most of the storm should stay off to our north as we go throughout the day tomorrow. It won't be until tomorrow night that that enhanced risk moves down into our area as those storms do come in to us. But really the main threat here is going to be hail, wind gusts, and, well, flash flooding. Tornado threat from Alexandria Point south are going to remain rather low. Severe storms aren't going to be just here. You notice a wide area across the central U.S. that's going to be looking at that. And as we put future radar into motion here, you'll notice the timing on all of this, that the storms are arriving late in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. It says 2 a.m., but the timing is a little off here. And then finally lining out as we go into the late overnight hours tomorrow. Lots of rain expected, 2 to 5 inches of rain, and of course we don't really need it. Looking at our extended forecast, cooler air does filter in behind this powerful cold front. We do warm up by the late end of next week.
Good morning, Central Louisiana.
Good morning, America.
Look for your local weather updates during GMA. Brought to you by LSUA. Find your way to A.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Frank. The NSU baseball team is finally starting to hit a groove. The Demons have won 3 of their last 4 and are back to 500 in conference play. This weekend, they'll look to keep it rolling against an aggressive Southeastern squad.
I mean, they really fight with 2 strikes. They draw their walks. If you make a mistake, they prey on it. You know, they really do. So you can't go in guarding against that. You know, you still have to go in attacking the game. You have to understand what they're going to try to do.
Now, as long as the weather holds up, the NSU softball team will also be hosting Southeastern this weekend. The Lady Demons enter the weekend tied for first place in the conference and could put themselves in a better position with a few wins this weekend. Game 1 is tomorrow night at 5.
Thanks for watching ABC 31 News. Have a great night.
Come run the plantation April 21st and support the Food Bank's Good Food Project. The Inglewood Classic 5K is bringing people together for the health of our community. It's time again for the celebration of life, unity, and community. Join us April 21st for the Sinlaw Holy Fest and Color Walk for Kids. Starts at 11 in downtown Alexandria. And you don't want to miss the Sinlaw Cruising Car Show and Music Festival, April 21st. View the hottest cars and enjoy live music for a good cause. The Hope House of Central Louisiana is hosting their first golf tournament at Oak Wing Golf Course Saturday, April 21st. Show your support, register today, and tee off for hope. For more community events, visit us on Facebook or at KLAXTV.com.